Okay, so apparently I've seen the full video, right? But this lady got set up on a date. I like overanalyzing the videos a little bit and then we'll push down to the comments. But let's just check it out.
I was just stood up on a date and it was the most humiliating experience ever. Story time, met this guy on a dating app and he immediately asked me out on a date to a specific restaurant. He confirmed day of, I get to the restaurant and see that he's nowhere to be found. So I reach out, no response. I check the app and notice that he unmatched me. At that point, I was a little confused and I was kind of pissed because I was already dressed and I got all the way there. And because I had put in so much effort, I thought I might as well just have a meal while I am in the building. And it wasn't until I got home when I was scrolling Facebook and I saw a very similar story from a girl at that same restaurant who also got stood up. She found out that there are restaurants now posing as people on dating apps just so you go to their business. And once you get stood up, they know that probably 9 times out of 10 that you're going to buy something from them.
So yeah, so in that case, right? Because she said she got dating app, right? She's on a dating app.
The most humiliating experience ever. Story time.
Met this guy.
And he immediately asked me out on a date to a specific restaurant. He confirmed day of. I get to the restaurant and see that he's nowhere to be found. So I reached.
So what do you guys do then in that instant? So you get to the restaurant, you're like, hey, but you start texting because you're like looking around and you're like, okay, wait a second, I don't see anybody here. Or I see people here, obviously, right? But then I don't see the person that I'm supposed to be meeting that is supposed to be here right now. And we set the date. You're supposed to be here. And you're like texting them, you're like, where are you at? Where are you at? Where are you at? And then like even then, before that, let's rewind it a little bit. Are you even getting out of the car to go inside the restaurant without getting the text that you're here? Or do you go in, right? And then you wait there at the restaurant and then you're just like sitting there looking around. Of course, if you're doing that, then you're probably going to buy something because it's already, you spent all this time, you already like, but you probably didn't eat beforehand before going into the restaurant because you know you're about to eat. So of course you're gonna be hungry, and now you're pissed off and hungry because the person's not there, and then you're still pissed off even if they showed up late. But at least you're not in this situation where you're like completely ghosted. I always say like majority of people would probably wait to be like, okay, I'm here, to then get out of the car, right? So I don't know about that. It is kind of weird.
Reach out, no response. I checked the app and noticed that he unmatched me. At that point, I was a little confused and I was kind of pissed because I was already dressed and I got all the way there. And because I had put in so much effort, I thought I might as well just have a meal while I am in the building. And it wasn't until I got home when I was scrolling Facebook and I saw a very similar.
Yeah, so she just got really mad because I mean, I would say typically maybe the girl would just leave the restaurant because now they're that bad memories attached to that place. That's what I would think, but I don't know. Maybe they've obviously tried this before, right? Since she said it was a restaurant posing as a dude to get people to go. So I'm they're just working numbers. You wouldn't have been in that vicinity anyway. So he just brought you here to look nice. And then now you're all depressed. And so you're going to eat. You're going to stuff your face because you're depressed.
From a girl at that same restaurant who also got stood up. She found out there are restaurants now posing as people on dating apps just so you go to their business. And once you get stood up, they know that probably 9 times out of 10 that you're going to buy something from them.
Yeah. So how is that even like possible? So that means there's dudes or there's restaurants, but then there's dudes also that are competing with restaurants now. Is that how it's going now? Like what? That's absolutely crazy. So I don't know. I don't think so. Yeah, everybody's gonna be saying like this is fake. I can see this as being fake, but if it's real, which I can also see a bit, that's so, like what? That is, but it is kind of interesting, as they say too in the comment section, that people like, why didn't you say what the restaurant was? I know it's gonna give the restaurant obviously some publicity, whether it be negative or positive or whatever, and people are like, oh, that's my favorite restaurant. But at least it'll let people know, even if it is completely fake, to like maybe watch out for it, or they'll get flack. And then like, I know I've seen it on Reddit before where they like bomb it with negative reviews or whatever. So maybe that'll happen as well. I don't know. It says, good Lord, this is so fake. Do you know how long you have to chat with women in dating apps before they will agree to meet for a date? It can be weeks. And I was talking about that before, and I was saying like, it could be weeks only if you're there's like an attractive scale, right? And like, if you're super attractive, then of course you're not gonna have to fit that much game. But if you aren't, you're gonna have to make up for that, right? So you're gonna have to put in the time and a lot of the effort, and then try to win her over. Like one of those stories where
It's like, I didn't really like him at first, but you know, he won me over after all the time. I mean, he was like my last choice, but you know, he's such a charming guy.
and it's like one of those romantic movies where you don't even freaking, you're like, you're the one guy that's slightly attractive and you're doing all this weird crazy romantic stuff. Unless you're super ugly, then it's just creepy stuff, right? Yeah. And then he's just saying, oh, it's like the amount of hours spent for doing this for multiple women would be a full-time job. It's like, back to my first point. But like even on the Tinder subreddit, they say like, rule number 1 is just look good. That's it. Viral marketing. And then you can't even say that this is like super fake, because maybe that's why she didn't do that in the first place, is because this isn't even like, she didn't say the restaurant's name. So how is it viral marketing anyways? That makes no sense. And that's why they said, yeah, that makes no sense as an ROI, because she hasn't viral marketed anything. Obviously makes no sense. I met this guy on a dating app. I would say if she don't say the restaurant name, but say like post a picture of the profile that you were talking to and then blast that, so then other people know, and then other girls aren't wasting their time, or dudes for that matter. You'd be targeting the gay guys as well. You just post the picture of the dude's profile, and then everybody knows, and then you don't give the restaurant any publicity. That's probably the best way to do that. Yeah, so it's like, so you're telling me someone at the restaurant either was instructed to, or it was someone trying to fill the restaurant on their shift by setting dates with people. Oh, okay, I see. So like, if the person wasn't instructed to do it by the restaurant themselves, because then obviously you're gonna blast the restaurant for doing that. You're like, oh, it's obviously the restaurant's fault. But if it was just somebody that was trying to get more tips from lonely, single, depressed women, and then they can come up with like a relatable story while you're serving them, that is pretty dang, that's kind of diabolical right there. That's insane. Yeah, that's like hardcore thinking. Like, you shouldn't even be a waitress at that point. Like what? That's crazy planning on their part. The mental gymnastics this lady goes through to wonder why her square-headed Quaker oats could be due to, yeah, it's just, you don't gotta like destroy people like that. It's crazy. Oh yeah, I can see. Sure. I think the whole point of it is watch out, because there's a bunch of fake profiles on dating sites that are just trying to get you to go to the local businesses and then waste your time, and then you end up, what's it say? There's one with all the local cinemas, coffee shops, high streets, and restaurants in my town have been running this scam for about a decade. No way, man. That's crazy. For a decade though? Why? So any girl can just come up and then say, it says you're kind of cute. At least they should have given you a free dessert or something. Like what? Like, so any girl could just be like, oh, well, I was on this dating app and some guy freaking told me to come here and told me that he stood me up on this date. And I have a free meal. Anybody could just say that. But how could two people come up with the same thing though? Yeah, she would need some receipts to like prove, like validate that stuff. Some men are just dicks. Yeah, valid. Trick single women to eat a single meal once, and yeah, probably never come back because of the amount of time you got stood up. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. That's gonna have a bad memory of the restaurant. So why would restaurants want that as a marketing strategy? Doesn't make any sense. So put it in the comments down below if you think that she was trying. Is it just her mind making this up? But then the other girl too, so like she could be just lying. If you think she's straight up just lying, or if like it's true. But I feel like that would just be bad bad publicity for the restaurant, right? I don't understand. And like the restaurant doesn't want to be tied to that memory. You're tied to memories of places. The food's gonna taste all bad because you're all sad and stuff and thinking about that. Or I don't think the restaurant's gonna want that. Anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.